very different topic here. Dating is hard as is, but what if you are on the autism spectrum? Well, a new reality dating show on Netflix is diving into just this issue. Love on the Spectrum shows the promises and pitfalls of dating for autistic people, and it gives viewers an inside look at some of the unique challenges people on the spectrum face when trying to find love. But what's interesting is that a lot of viewers say they themselves can relate to the documentary series, even though they don't necessarily have autism. And joining us now is Dr. Kerry Magro, a motivational speaker who is on the autism spectrum as well. So Kerry, first of all, tell us a bit about what it's like to date as a person with autism. What are some of the struggles that you might face?
There are so many different things such as, one of the biggest things to know is that if you met one individual with autism, you met just that one individual with autism. So It's a very wide spectrum. So my obstacles with autism and dating involve things such as eye contact, sometimes having some difficulty with small talk. And in addition to that, letting my partner know when I need some time by myself to process different situations that are going on. I'm blessed to be a dating coach today and a mentor to so many on the autism spectrum, though, to talk about this topic because it's so important.
Right, and it's so interesting what you said, that it is a spectrum. I mean, how do you feel about this Netflix show, Love on the Spectrum? I've absolutely loved watching it, but do you think that it's portrayed the dating experience of those on the spectrum in an appropriate and correct way?
Oh, absolutely. There's one character in there named Michael who was so like me when I was 25, would say a few things that you wouldn't expect necessarily somebody to say, but it's so resonating to me and so many in our autism community right now, because it also shows that people with autism don't lack empathy. That's like one of the biggest misconceptions in the autism community. And we really hope we could debunk that. And a show like this really helps with that.
Do you think that there's a difference in terms of what autistic people versus non-autistic people are looking for in a partner when they're dating?
You know, that's a really good question. I think one of the biggest things for me is I'm looking for somebody who really focuses on open communication. Because at times I'm not able to understand nonverbal communication as much. Body language sometimes is a challenge for me, along with a lot of people on the autism spectrum. So I think a lot of people that I know who are on the autism spectrum really want somebody who's just going to be open, honest, and showing their true, authentic self. And I'm still looking for that special someone, and I hope to find her one day.
I'm sure that you will. I mean, it's interesting to me because a lot of the things that you're saying seem to be issues that every person faces when it comes to dating. It's not unique to somebody who's necessarily on the spectrum. But what do you think about, you know, the representation of autism in Hollywood and in the TV and film scene as a whole?
How much time do you have? No, I'm kidding. I've actually, one of my greatest achievements in the autism community, I believe, is being an autism entertainment consultant. I've worked on 2 films that I was brought on to make sure those characters were a realistic portrayal. Unfortunately, today in television, less than 1% of disabled actors actually play disabled characters. So we need more representation, but we also need more stories like this one that really talk about dating, because sometimes it falls through the cracks in our community. So I'm just blessed to have my platform and to also be able to blog about it. I blog about so much about my journey because I had my first girlfriend when I was 18. Today I'm 32 and I'm still looking for that special someone. And I hope my stories can help resonate with people in our community who are also looking for love on the autism spectrum.
So what advice do you have, or what kind of message would you want to send to somebody who is on the autism spectrum and is kind of feeling discouraged about dating?
It's possible. When I was 18, I had no idea how to talk to women. I had no idea how to go through that process. And let me tell you, it's just a lot of trial and error at times. It's putting yourself out there, being okay with rejection, because rejection comes for anybody, and then just keep pushing yourself forward. I wrote a book called Autism and Falling in Love, where I talked about my own personal experiences growing up on the autism spectrum. And I can't tell you how many rejections I've had, but also how many successes I've had. So take it in stride, realize that it's not a race, it's a marathon in many cases, and realize that there is somebody truly special out there for you.
Dr. Kerry Magro, thank you so much for joining us. That's a message for everybody in the world, I think. My friends, that is it.